Hey everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Panashe Kimberley and I am back with episode 2 of the birth story of Laylin and everything that happened from her birth, her delivery, and the first few traumatic days of her life all the way up until where we are now. So if you're joining me for the first time and you hadn't watched part 1, I encourage you to go back and watch part 1. If you're rejoining us, if you're just, coming back because you know the vibe is correct here, thank you so much for joining me again. If you're here and you hadn't watched the previous videos, feel free to go back and watch my stories and see where I've come from. And I do hope that we can build a good relationship. And to everybody who has subscribed, thank you so much for being here and for supporting this channel. Thank you so much for all the love. I saw so many congratulatory messages, so many Instagram aunties who are just can't wait to see Laylin, can't wait to spoil Laylin. Just really happy about me becoming a mom, and that is just so heartwarming for me. Guys, thank you so much for just supporting me and just being there and just loving everything I do. All I want to do is just to put a smile on somebody's face, but you guys really put a smile on mine. So I'm so happy that you guys and I can just communicate the way we're communicating. And without taking too much time, let's get back into the story. So if there's one thing that you know, if you've been pregnant before or if you've lived around somebody who is pregnant, it's that there are things that you might have to do to help prepare your body for the birth and delivery of your child. And girl, did I not prepare myself. I went to yoga. I did yoga. It is the most refreshing thing that has ever happened to me, right? Because remember, from the previous video, I told you I couldn't exercise anymore. So a different type of exercise that is more relaxing and everything is yoga. And I 100% recommend that if you have a friend who is pregnant or if you are pregnant, if you know somebody who is pregnant, just tell them, find a class where you can do yoga, prenatal yoga. It is the best thing that has ever happened to me. And if you can't afford to go to an actual instructor and go for yoga class, go over to YouTube and look for prenatal yoga classes and you'll find them. I started off on YouTube and then I joined an instructor. I am just gonna put her number and her name and her Instagram link in the description and also on the screen so that you see. But this has been, yoga was the most amazing experience for me. Your mind is reset. You are just calm. It's just a lot. Anyway, if you need that assistance, the number's in the screen. And I just do hope that you will join this particular lady, Mercy Mungwazi. She's so great with her yoga classes. And even she also does like normal yoga. So if you also just are interested in yoga and you don't know where to start, go over to Mercy and she will help you and she will be your instructor, and she's really cool. Anyway, so I did yoga. I was doing small walks, but yeah, it still wasn't as good as. And if you can hear a little bit of wheezing or a bit of nyai nyai in the background, it's because somebody is awake. I thought they were sleeping. So now she's awake and she's just playing by herself. So let's leave her be until she starts becoming a problem. But so I did yoga. I did my stretches, my squats. There's so much that you can do. What did I not do? And then also on the herbal side. Now this side is controversial. Did you know, or rather, please share the herbal remedies, traditional herbal remedies that you have heard that pregnant women should take when they are having or expecting their baby or when they're close to their due date. Which herbal remedy did I not do? I'm pretty sure I did all of them. But I think the most prominent one I did was making tea out of elephant dung, ndowe yenzo. If you know about this, and you know how it's done, or if you have a 10 cents about it, please tell me about it in the comment section. But I drank the tea, and yes, it was quite an experience. I also was drinking red raspberry leaf tea. It's very recommended. People would say, like on the internet, oh, if you want your contractions, what. What I found out about red raspberry tea is that it's a tonic. It's a uterine tonic. So it helps, even if you are not pregnant, you can still drink red raspberry leaf tea, according to what I was reading, because it helps with your contractions, your cramping, your contractions, like it tones the uterus, helps bring blood flow to the uterus, what. Just look at red raspberry leaf tea. Sorry. And I also did dates. I ate dates. I ate like a lot of them. I ate, what did I eat? Well, anyway, I'm just trying to explain that I did everything. I did everything. I'm trying to figure out what else I didn't do. I basically did a lot. I did a lot. And yeah, this was me preparing for the birth of this little girl. And it actually, like all of these things that I was doing in future or in my next pregnancy, I'm not going to do so much. I'm probably just going to pick 2 or 3 things that I'm going to stick to. Okra water, okra, chili, did I not? But anyway, and I'm not even a chili person, but I did all of that just to prepare for this baby, because we just wanted this natural birth to go as smoothly as possible. I wanted a natural birth. I didn't want any medication. So I wanted to go through the pain, all of the contractions, the breathing, the everything, the pushing. I wanted to go through it. So that was the plan. So I did everything I could to prepare for it. And I feel like I should tell you guys about drinking Ndowenzo elephant dung tea. Yeah, it was quite the experience. I sent my husband's friend, shout out to Bamkuru Matso, Bamkuru Hurst. He went and he was in Kariba, and I asked him to bring me back Ndowenzo, and he brought me a whole fresh pile of elephant dung. So I even had to dry it outside my house so that I could drink it dry, because when I tried to drink it in the wet-ish state, it was really disgusting. So how you make it is, this is according to my mom's advice. She was the one who was pushing me to drink it. She said, you take a chunk of dung, put it in hot water, boiling water, let it boil for like 5 minutes or less, and then leave it, just put it on the side. And then once all the sediment and everything has gone to the bottom, you sift out the water, and that's the tea that you drink. So my experience with elephant dung tea was, I could taste that I was drinking dung. Vamwano tea haina taste. In my case, I suppose maybe because it was fresh, I don't know. I could taste the grass. I could taste the dung, like that dung, that, you know, the scent I'm talking about, that little, yes, I could taste it. But somebody told me, my friend Googled, said it doesn't taste like anything. She said she had it and it didn't taste like anything. But for me, it tasted like dung. I tried it. I had it a couple of times. But then I kind of felt like getting a BP, so I kind of stopped somewhere in between. But to be honest, yeah, because you do know that this is fecal matter. It doesn't matter if I need to know it, and so when I seems I would say need to know it, and so, and you know, drinking elephant dung tea would not do anything. My gosh, did it not finger my brain? But anyway, the experience is quite the experience. But I do hope that someone in the comment section can tell me about their experience with preparation for birth. Like, have you heard of it? And what else is there out there? Because I know that there are a lot of herbal remedies. Let's help these upcoming mums to be to prepare. If it's even recommended anyway. If it's not recommended, please just tell me, do not do it ever again, and I won't. And also to help other moms not to. Generally, science says it doesn't work. Anyway, so yeah, I had prepared. I was doing my yoga religiously. My dates, everything. Like, I was ready for it. Pineapples. Oh gosh, I was ready. And then on the night of the 12th of October, hi Nana. So it was on the night of the 12th. Actually, not the night, maybe the afternoon or the day before. You know, when you're pregnant, or now that I know because I was once pregnant, there's something that they call Braxton Hicks. Now, this is a feeling of contractions, but when this is happening to you, you are just thinking that you are getting cramps. You know, you think that labor has begun, and you might even go to the hospital, but then you're not in labor. So this had been happening for a little while, and I was just brushing it off and waiting for the real thing to happen. So I then realized that it was the real thing when it started slowly becoming a little bit intense at a time. So what it starts out as, in my experience, is it starts out, it's true when they say it starts out like your period pain. So it's like a cramp, it's like a discomfort, and then it comes and goes. You know, it just comes and goes. It pulsates. You might forget it happened. Then it comes again for a short time and it goes. And then eventually it starts building and building and building. So I figured out that I may have been in labor at around 6 p.m. on the 12th, on the night of the 12th, 6 p.m. I may have been in labor. And I was like, okay, let's wait and see. So I did my yoga. I drank my tea. And basically I was just relaxed because, you know, it's all about your mindset. You're not supposed to be scared, or that's what I had come to learn, that you don't have to be scared. You have to accept that this is what you have to go through, and you have to trust your body, because your body is about to do one big, amazing thing that is so natural, and your body knows how to do it. So I was in that mindset that let my body do what it wants to do, and I was just relaxed, and I was just doing my yoga. I went and took a bath. I went and did this, and I was just in that little zone where I was just mellow and not thinking about too much and stuff. And then a little while later, I decided, you know what, let me go to sleep. So I took a short nap. And then when I woke up from my nap about an hour later, I just knew, okay, I think I am in labor. So I cooked. I think we even had some very nice food that night. I don't remember. But then I was just very mellow, doing just ordinary things. And by the way, my bag was packed, like fully packed. I had packed my bag. The first draft of my packed bag was packed at around 24 weeks. That's when I found out the gender. And we didn't even do that thing where you do a gender reveal and stuff. We just wanted to know if we were having a girl or a boy. And we were just told, you're going to have a girl. And that was it. So I packed my bags. We came from buying preparation, and I packed my bag at like 24 weeks. So my bag had been packed, and then I repacked again maybe at 30 weeks, and then I repacked again at 35 weeks. This time until my bag was fully packed. So I had no rush. I had no problems. And then we had food, right? We had dinner, and then we had dinner, and then I think I even watched a movie. I was watching a series or something, but I was just feeling that contraction-y feeling. So I was just kind of walking up and down the house. I didn't even tell Keen this was going on. Keen basically had his normal evening, because I then decided, you know what, if I am in labor and if I tell him now, he's going to get a bit stressed. So he's going to be, you know, he's going to want me to go to the hospital now. And I don't want to do that. So let's just wait it out and see how it goes. Around 12 a.m., I fell asleep, right? And then I woke up at around 3. Now at around 3, it had become a bit intense. I did a bit of yoga again, and I did some stretching and whatnot to just kind of help move things along. I was still in that mellow mood, but I now knew that this was happening. And I was saying to myself, you know what, I'm going to go to the hospital when it starts to get really painful, if it's really, really painful. Because right now I was just having, it was painful, but it wasn't that deep. You know, it was like, okay, yeah, I can handle it. But I said to myself, you know what, we'll go to the hospital when it starts to be intense. But then my contractions started coming closer together. And now I could start feeling it. And then I knew, you know what, I think we are getting closer to needing to go to the hospital. And for some reason, I just said, you know what, let me wait it out a little bit. Do you know ndakakanga nzungu ndiri kuti ndichikanga kanga ndomboterera contraction. Ndombofema iwe, my breathing exercises, ndombokanga futi tumwe tunzungu. Kwa kudi paya nzungu dziya kwa kutoibva ndikati haya rega nditsiye dzipore. And then I let my peanuts, just cool off, and I went to take a nap. While I was napping, did I not hear boom? Yeah. Boom. So when I read about how your water breaks, I heard that it sounds like a pop inside of you, and that's exactly how I felt. I felt like it was a pop. And at this time, it was now 5 a.m. on the dot, 5 a.m. And I hear this boom, and I know, oh gosh, my water has broken. Luckily, I was sleeping on the bed, but then I had also put a like a mattress protector on the bed. And on top of the mattress protector, I'd put these sheets of paper called linen savers. So they were linen savers, they were mattress protectors, so there was nothing that went on the bed or even on the sheets because the linen savers were on top of the sheets. But I just felt that my water had broken, and I decided, I froze, and then I woke Keen up and I said, you know what, baby, you need to go and take a shower right now. Baby is coming. And he says, what? And then he wakes up and he's like, really? And I'm like, yeah, you need to go take a shower. You need to take a quick shower, and we're going to the hospital because my water just broke. And he's like, okay. And he's like, how much time do you think I have? And I told him, you have like 20 minutes tops to get into that shower and get out so he can go. And that's what he did. He got into the shower, took a quick shower, came out, changed very fast. I think I even picked out clothes for him while he was bathing. And I got out of bed and the water just went shh, part of it. And I took like a linen saver and then just kind of put it there to hold the water. So it was like a giant pad that I was now wearing. I put on a dress. I just found a dress that I could throw on and threw on some funny underwear like this. I don't know. I now knew this was happening, and for some reason I was now scared. And I don't know why I was scared when I'd been training the whole basically 5 months to not be scared, but I just suddenly became scared. And then something told me to look at the water, like when my water broke, because I'd also read that when your water breaks, if it's clear and it has or it's just pinkish, then your water's fine. But if it's brown or it's got a color to it, then that means baby has pooped in the stomach. So I don't know what at that moment just told me to take a look at my water, and I realized that my water was brown. Did I not freak out again? Because this then meant that baby was in distress and baby had pooped in my tummy. I was so upset because in that moment, that's when I knew that all of my yoga and everything had gone down the drain. I was now going to have a C-section after preparing for months and months to have a natural birth. And I was so upset about it. I kind of immediately lost my morale because this already suddenly was no longer going as planned. And Keen got out of the shower, dressed, and then carried my bag and my stuff. I had a lot of stuff. Most of the stuff was supposed to help me to be, in labor. But then, yeah, but I just packed it anyway, the yoga ball and everything. And in my mind, I just thought, you know what, maybe I might get a chance. Maybe it won't be that bad, and I might get the chance to, go through with the natural birth. So I just packed everything just in case it was going to happen. But, deep down, I knew that, my chances of a natural birth are gone. And then, yeah, we drove to the hospital, in this pothole, in Ngirikini situation. Your water has broken up. I was just telling him, slow down, baby, slow down, go through those potholes really slowly. And then he would slow down. He was such a gentleman. My husband is like the best. He was such a gentleman. He would slow down and everything and try to maneuver. Until we got there, the hospital I was going to was about 7 minutes away from our house, and even faster because there was no traffic. Remember, it was 5:30 at the time, 5:30 a.m. So there was no traffic. So we were there in like 5 minutes. So basically, from the time my water broke to the time I got when I got to the hospital, it had been 30 minutes. And now my contractions had begun to be stronger. My goodness, did I not now begin to feel the actual pain? When I was in the car, I felt my first sharp contraction, and I thought the baby was coming immediately. I was just, it's just, and in that moment, you forget, you are taught in yoga and whatnot, all of those are prenatal classes. You're told, hey, breathe. When you feel a contraction, you need to breathe. Yeah, did I feel the need to breathe at that point? I did not even know what breath was. It was just so painful and so sharp, and it lasts like what, 15, 20 seconds? And it's just this sharp pain that just, oh gosh. I'm not saying this to scare anybody who hasn't had a baby yet, but then, yeah, it's pretty harsh. It's pretty harsh. So now I was now feeling my contractions, but in the back of my mind, I'm like, do you think I'm ready to push? Like, am I dilated enough? Because you have to get to 10 centimeters and stuff. So I was like, oh my gosh, am I dilated enough? And wow, it was just a lot. So, and then we got to the hospital. And then when I got to the hospital, I showed the nurses my gigantic pad that I had made. And they were like, yeah, of course, you're going to probably have a C-section because baby has pooped in your stomach. They confirmed what I knew to be true. And my gynecologist wasn't there, so they had to call the backup gynecologist and asked her, you know what, this is what happened. And she was like, you know what, prepare her for a C-section. So yeah, this was me. After all these months of preparing for a natural birth, I basically was not just going to have a C-section. I didn't have a choice. And you know what? It's not like just because you're having a C-section, the contractions stopped. They didn't stop. They got stronger. They got closer together. And I was in excruciating pain. But the thing that hurt me the most about this pain was not the pain itself. It was the knowledge that all of this that I was going through was unnecessary because I was just waiting to go to get a C-section. So it was like, why am I going through pain? And the nurses didn't even offer me a painkiller. They could see I was in terrible pain. Nobody offered me a painkiller. They're like, yeah, wait, don't worry, the doctor is coming. Just wait. I was in pain. And then now they want to take my blood pressure and I have to do this, give them my arm while I'm in the midst of a contraction. And I was like, Mirai, hold on. You contraction your parents or hold on, Mirai, tora BP, because I'm feeling all of this pain. And yeah, this is what was going on. So the doctor eventually came. I think the doctor came at like 8. Maybe not 8. 8 is when the C-section happened, like when I was in the theater. But the doctor came and I was prepped for the theater and everything, and they give you a catheter. If you don't know what a catheter is, look it up and look at what goes on there because it's not pretty and I'm not going to describe it on camera. But yeah, they give you a catheter, they put what. And then the doctor recommended, Kuti, you know what, your contractions are now spaced together and you might just, I don't want you to have a contraction while I'm giving you an epidural. So an epidural is a painkiller that they give you, and they put it in your back But then it's quite dangerous, you know, when putting it in, especially if you're having contractions and you're in pain and what. Like, so they just told me, not, we're just going to knock you out. And that's what they did. They knocked me out. 1 minute, I'm knocked out. Finally, all the pain is gone. I just fall asleep. I just faint. Like, I just woof. I've never done that in my life. Never. Like, that is the most unnatural state I've ever felt in my life. Kungoti whoop. Like, nothing. You just feel nothing. You just go. Whoop. See? And then when you come to, that was me. I just whoop. And then when I come to, I am groggy. I am drunk from the medication, because it's also a very drowsy type of medication when it's like coming out of your system. And I was so drunk. I think I said a lot of things. If you talk nicely to Mr. Mshapaidze, Ed Kinmush might just give you a video of me going on and on gibberish because I was high on medication. But that was it. I literally fell asleep and woke up, and my husband is telling me, we have a baby. The baby came. Oh, she's so beautiful. What? And now I'm saying, can I see the baby? And the nurses are saying, no. I'm like, what? I can't see the baby. Can I just hold her? And then this nurse says, no, you are unsanitary because you're coming out of the theater, so you can't hold the baby. And I'm like, what? I just want to feel her finger. Like, I just want to touch her. I just want to see at least. She goes, no. Do you know I didn't hold my child for the first 30 hours of her life? Only her father and my mom saw her. I didn't even know what she looked like. I could not touch her because I had been I'd had a C-section, and basically, yeah, you can't touch your baby until, that's what they told me. I don't know other people's experiences, but they said I couldn't until they had taken my catheter out. And about 30 hours later is the only time when I got the catheter out. So for the first 30 hours of my baby's life, she didn't know I existed, or didn't know that we were apart, or whatever it is. And that was just so painful for me, because the first thing every mother wants to do when they give birth is to hold the baby. This baby has been in my stomach. I want to hold my baby. But these nurses said no. My husband pleaded. Everybody pleaded. No. Even when I was fully awake and no longer groggy from medication, they still said no until we take your catheter out. And we're like, okay, fine. I didn't know that. I was not prepared for that. It's not like I had researched on a C-section, and I never even wanted to give myself the C-section energy. I really wanted just to do a natural birth, but here I was. It's not like there's anything wrong with a C-section, but if you had been planning for a natural birth, a C-section then feels very painful to have, especially after having gone through a whole horde of things that you had been doing to plan for this baby. So there I was. 30 hours later is when I finally held my baby, and I was finally at peace. But also at the same time, it felt weird because I was wondering if she knew who I was. Does this baby know me? Does this baby recognize me? Did they at least, you know how when your baby smells you, the mother, or if you've ever heard about it, even wildlife, when the mother gives birth, the baby has to smell its mother so that it knows that this is the mother. This is also what happens with us humans. The baby has to smell me and recognize me. So when I was with this baby, I looked at this baby. This baby did not have any emotions whatsoever to indicate that it knew that I was there and I existed. And I was really hurt about that because, you know, and was that not only the trauma? The other trauma was when a woman gives birth, it is kind of the expected thing for when you give birth, you're supposed to lactate. Was I lactating? Milk away. Milk for who? There was no milk coming out anyway. Nothing. It did not happen. For 24 hours, after the 30 hours, my baby was drinking none. So maybe about 60 hours or 48 hours. I don't know how many hours now. This baby was not, maybe, yeah, almost 60 hours. Or even 72. Because they had to give me a medication. My baby was on none and I had no milk coming out. And yeah, that was me. Just wondering what's going on. So then they told me to pump. And then I was now trying to pump. I had a manual pump that I had with me. So I was now trying to pump and there was no milk coming out. And when milk eventually started coming out, it was coming out by the 5 milliliter chichi apa zviri kunzi dhudedu, at least 30 milliliters dzekuti tipe mwana, because she was feeding from a tube. By the way, because she had pooped in my tummy and had been in distress, apparently she had ingested some of that poop into her body. So now they had to drain her at birth, like take it out of her system, out of her lungs, out of her stomach. I know, right? It's a lot of work. And so she was now in an incubator and she had a tube and whatnot. It was just so much going on. So she had a tube and she was feeding through the tube. She was feeding none through the tube for the first 30 hours or 48 hours at least of her life. And then they took off the tube and then gave her through the cup, because I still wasn't able to breastfeed. Even like when she would latch on, there was no milk coming out. So they eventually had to give me medication, and that medication helped me lactate. But even when I was lactating, I would give like maybe a third of what I was supposed to give to feed the baby. My milk actually started coming out maybe around day 4, day 3 maneru into day 4. That's when I started having enough milk for baby, and it eventually improved from there. But this was a struggle that I was going through, and the nurses tried to help, and it was also very traumatic because there was this one time when, I don't know, like they were just probably very trying to be helpful, but then one nurse was holding my breast and the other one was pinching my nipple so that the milk would come out, and I was just in so much pain because there are 4 or 5 hands just trying to help me lactate, because everybody's trying to squeeze the milk out of me, and I was just in so much pain, only to learn that lactation, or in what's it called, hand expressing milk, should not be painful. But in that moment, there was one nurse here who was pinching my boob, another one helping me to hold the boob, another one was trying something else here. I don't know. Both my boobs were being pinched by different people who were trying to help me lactate to give milk to the baby. And I was just in a constant state of trauma. 1, I wasn't allowed to hold the baby. 2, when I finally did hold the baby, I couldn't express milk to feed my baby, so my baby had to go on formula. 3, the baby developed jaundice. Now, jaundice is a whole different kind of scare, because you have to, like, I feel like I should do a part 3 because this is a long video, and I don't know, but it was just traumatizing. Jaundice is when the baby has a high level of what in their body, so then they turn yellow, so you just have to put them in the sun. But then because she was newborn, you didn't, she was in the ICU, you couldn't put her in the sun, so she was put into a light, like this light and it's called phototherapy. So I don't know if there's a mother who has gone through this before, please comment in the comment section. She had to do phototherapy for like 3 days. We spent 4 days in the hospital, and from day 2 to day 3 she was doing phototherapy. Yeah, trying to get the jaundice out of her body. At some point we were told that she might have to have a blood transfusion. A newborn might have had a blood transfusion where they drain out all her blood and give a new donor blood. At a newborn stage, imagine. So it was a very traumatic first week of this baby's birth. And when I finally got home, I was just so traumatized. I was so confused. And I thank God that my mom was there, because my mom quickly took hold of the situation and she helped me to calm down. She helped me to figure it out. And I was trying to heal. I was trying to figure out being a mom. I was just traumatized. I was upset. I had a lot of things going on. And while I know that this is not the ideal birth story that people would want to know, this is a reality for a lot of women out there who are giving birth and then things don't go as they plan, or they have terrible birth experiences, or they have experiences that are good, or they have experiences that leave them in a state of depression. And this is why some women have postpartum depression. I didn't have postpartum depression, but it's something that after having experienced what I experienced, if I didn't have the support that I had from my mom and my sister and my husband and the family, I may have gotten depressed. It is possibly the easiest thing to catch if you're a new mom and if you have a traumatic birth experience like I did. So I'll talk about that in a different video. But I just wanted to share that my birth experience for this first baby was not the best. And even bonding with the baby happened over time. It wasn't, oh, I hold my baby and then immediately we bond. No, it took time, maybe even 3 weeks, even 4 weeks, till I began to actually feel that this baby understands who I am. And I am now fully in the mode of motherhood. Before then, I felt like I was a stranger to my baby, and I felt like my baby didn't know me. And that was a painful state to be in for almost a month after giving birth, after having gone through all of these beautiful experiences before birth in order to prepare for birth. So yeah, I've had to cut it short. I can speak about it again in different segments or different parts of the story, as I plan to do in the future, because my birthing journey and my pregnancy journey has helped me realize that there are a lot of things that a lot of women are not talking about, and centered around birth and reproduction and women's rights in the health industry and things that are just going on in the health department of women's lives. And that's something I'd like to spend time doing this year, talking about women and their reproduction and their birth, their pregnancy and stuff like that. So it's something that I'd like to talk more about this year, and it's something that I'd love to raise awareness on. And if you're joining this channel for the first time, if you'd like to keep watching, show a friend who needs help in this department. You and I can help each other. Me and them can help each other, and we could grow awareness on the subject as we move forward. So I know it's probably not the rosy or the funny story that I'm used to telling, but this is my story, my cut out story. I will tell more of it, but basically this is the long and short of it, of my birth story. And now we are good. Now she literally doesn't want anybody else to hold her. We can go to a group of people. She can be held by Ningi held, but she will look for me, mommy. And when I pass by, she will smile. Now she understands who I am, and I understand, and I'm fully submerged in her, in being like in mommyhood. Now I'm a mother. Now I'm in the full zone of being a mom, but it didn't start out that way. And that's something that I'd like to share, and also have other women talk about in the future. Woo, yeah. So yeah, guys, this has been a long video. I'm not going to take so much of your time. Please subscribe, call a friend who needs help, or if your story is similar to mine, feel free to share. This is gonna be my subject for the next few months, along with other stories and other topics. But I feel like this needs to be talked about, guys, and I would be doing myself a disservice and you a disservice by learning about this part of the woman's life and not coming back to share it and help other women experience, or to know that they're not alone. So yeah, until next Friday,